Let me tell you what I believe is the one thing that holds the raw food movement back more than anything else. The raw vegan movement. The thing that holds it back more than anything else. And I'd love to get your feedback on this. I'd love to hear your comments. So you can feel free to comment below. And this information is coming to you from my roughly 10 years of experience in the raw vegan and raw food movement. So, and I'm telling you, I think this is one of the worst things that I hear people say, one of the worst pieces of information that I don't think is right, that people say, especially our teachers and leaders, that hold this thing completely back, that completely shoot ourselves in the foot. And I don't think it's true. And that's the other reason that I want to mention this. When you watch raw foodist teachers, leaders, and raw vegan people, they will so often, way too often, concentrate on the idea that we need to worry about getting enough nutrition. And usually it comes from some place of saying, you can't really trust what's in the food these days. You can't trust the soil and the farmers and the chemicals, and it's all bad. And therefore, you might die. But a raw food diet's good. Like raw vegan diet's good. You might die, but a raw it's good. It's a good diet. It's sort of healthy. You might die though, but it's a healthy. I swear it is healthy. You might die, but it is healthy. And if you don't want to die, you need to do it in this exact way. And you must take these. You must eat these foods in this quantity, and you must have this in. And see all these things you don't like to eat. You got to eat all that as well. And then you got to add supplements and get a test all the time just in case, because you might die. But it's a healthy diet. It's like, what a stupid message. Like, what a ridiculously bad message. And the really, we're having a great time. I'm having a pretty great time on a raw vegan diet, and raw vegan lifestyle. I'm having a pretty great time. I'm quite enjoying it. I didn't always enjoy it, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying life on a raw vegan diet. So I'm enjoying it. It's fun. I'm having a party, and people are coming into the party. And there's people at the front door of the party going, "You might die. You need to have your supplements. Rah! If you don't get enough vitamin D, you need to, and you really need to live in the tropics." And and I'm thinking, we're trying to attract people in here, and you keep on scaring them away with your nonsense. And it is nonsense. It's total not. And people, it usually comes with this, in the soil. Or as you know, of course, the soil has been degraded over the years, as is commonly known. But everyone knows that. Yeah, it's not true. But yes, many people know that idea. It's totally not true. There's not a shred of evidence. People are saying to me like, "I've researched this, and there's a lot of evidence around this." And I say, "Provide me the evidence. Let me see it." And I know what they're going to bring up, because they're going to go on Google, because they've never researched it. They're going to go on Google. They're going to find the 4 or 5 studies that aren't really studies, that aren't really respected studies, that are going to suggest this. They've not read the study. The study doesn't even say what they think it says. But they're going to bring those out. University of Texas, a thing that was like, what's that thing? What's that dietary thing? Can't remember. Macrobiotic. There's a macrobiotic institute that has a study on that. It's not even a proper study. None of these things. This is what they've done. They look at nutritional levels from the 1950s. They compare it to today. By the way, even in the 1950s, they were saying the soil's depleted. We've only got 10. They've been saying this from the beginning of time, probably. Probably you can find it in the Bible somewhere. And obviously in the biblical times, and Joseph saw that Joseph is whatever. I don't know. I'm not going to go into biblical. Why am I trying to? There probably is somewhere in the Bible that says, and you can't eat that, and you can't grow this like this, because if you grow this like this, the soil's gonna. Um. Anyway, so let me try and get back on track here. So yeah, people are always saying, the soil been damaged. There's a guy called Sad Guru. He's going out now. He's got quite a following. Big Indian guru guy. I've got friends that want to go and hang out with him, and I'm getting the feeling that if you go to his place, you probably don't get to hang out with him. But you can go to his place and hang out with the people that want to hang out with him. And he talks positively about fruit, so shouldn't be too negative on Sadhguru. He does talk positively on fruit. He did say something weird about ghee, butter, and how it lubricates your system. He says stuff that doesn't really make any sense. As does everyone about food. As do most nutritionists, every doctor, and most people don't say anything that makes any sense about food. But who cares? Like, yeah, it lubricates your system. No one. How does it do that? What do you mean? What, are you a bicycle? Like, is it lubricating your? Like, what's happening there? You take oil into your mouth and then it oils things. Is that what happens, or does it start to get broken down in the stomach acid? Do enzymes start to break fats down into, like, isn't there a more of a digestive process that happens? Regardless, anyway, we don't need to think about that. It's not as if that information is clearly available for everyone to look at. We'll just pretend that things lubricate your system. So, but he's on about soil becoming depleted. Save the soil. We must save the soil. There's a bunch of Indian people that seem to be into the save the soil. There was a whole there's movies about saving the soil. There's a big movement on saving the soil. And there's a lady, she's like an Indian lady, she pops up all the time. Oh yeah, the soil. We need to save the soil, all the farmers, and all the bad things with the farmers. And where does this information come from? There's no evidence that the soil is depleting. There's no nutrition in the soil. There's no minerals in the soil. There's no evidence for any of that. Even the studies that suggest that there is less nutrition in food now than there was in the past, and those studies are not particularly good, and not thorough, and not in line with the fact that we've been keeping a record of these things, and the government has been keeping a record of these things for years and years. There's plenty of information out there, but it's not, no one's saying anything about it, apparently. They're just happy for the soil to deplete. No problem. Yeah, the farmers are doing all the stuff, soil's depleting. Where's it all going? Who knows? Where does soil go, by the way, if it depletes? Does it go up into the atmosphere? Is it out in the ocean somewhere? Like, where is the soil going? Oh, it's going somewhere else. All right, so it's still here, but it's just somewhere else. So we just grow the food somewhere else. Oh, that sounds like a really difficult thing. So I said to someone, I'm not going to say his name because it would make him sound so foolish. And he's insulted me a number of times. That's okay. We're good friends. I really enjoy the guy. So, but I said to him, where is this? If all this soil is depleting, where's it going? He said, it's in people. It's like, what? It's in people? I think his argument was like there was so many people and it just accumulates inside you, or the minerals do. But he was saying that people don't have enough minerals. It was very confusing. Anyway, sometimes you hit up against someone's belief system and they find anything to try and back it up. But it doesn't help our movement go forward when we say weird things like that. And it doesn't help it if people are interested in the initial questions that people have is like, I want to get healthier, but does this, and this might be something that I could do, but is this like, is it healthy? I mean, can I get a deficiency? Where do I get my protein from? Like, where do I get calcium and all this? And people ask these questions because they've been kind of trained to ask these questions. It doesn't come from a genuine place of study and research and education. It's just that these are the society cultural questions to ask about food. It's just the stuff that people have been taught to say to sound kind of semi-normal. You know, you meet a vegan, oh, vegan, very good, blah, blah, blah. So where do you get your protein? Like, people have to ask that because you're in a conversation. There's a limited amount of things they know about a vegan diet. And so they go, oh, vegan, right. What do you eat? Oh, really? Yeah. Where do you get your protein? Oh, okay. Yeah. They're just trying to be, it's not, they're not trying to beat you down or insult you. They just try to have a conversation. It's like, this is what you say to a vegan. That's what you say to a vegan. You know, and if you meet, I don't know, if I was to meet a comedian, you go, oh, tell us a joke. Like comedians hate that, apparently. Like that's the thing they specialize in, but they hate people asking them, tell us a joke. Like, but you would assume they know a lot of jokes. And it would be nice to hear a joke. But they hate people asking them, like, why not just have some jokes then? For people to have some simple jokes. Like, it's not a big deal. And the same with being a vegan. So I mean, people are going to ask you where do you get your protein, and just have a response. Don't get caught up in it. Like, just have something to say to them. I just say, I don't know. I don't really know. Where'd you get your protein? I don't really know where I get my protein. I'm just on an experiment. Maybe I'm gonna die soon. Who knows? You know, I'm not that bothered about answering these questions because they're not real questions. Um, so so yeah, these are just the things people say. And people say these things, and the response is not to go, well, yeah, you know, you need to make sure you get enough. You need to balance this and that. You need to eat more of these things. And, oh, you need to loads of leafy greens. You know how leafy greens that you eat none of and that you don't want to eat, you need to eat a shit ton of them now, or you will die. And if you don't, you will rapidly go downhill. You will lose your brain function. You'll get paralyzed and you'll probably not be able to talk. You will lose your ability to have sex and you will, in every single way, diminish and die as a human being. But the raw vegan diet is healthy. You know, it's messed up the way that we talk about this diet. It's messed up. And it's the teachers and the leaders that are the worst because they want people to come to them and ask them these questions and they want to be the person that has all these answers. And they want to give them bad answers like, oh yeah, supplements and loads of leafy greens, a shit ton of that you don't really want to eat. That's impossible to actually consume. So you have to have them in a juice format, and you need to grow your own in your own garden, and you have to do sprouts, and you have to have a sprout farm and a microgreen system and an entire fucking like ecosystem in your fucking house to do this fucking simple diet. I'm sorry, I'm swearing. I never usually swear, right? And I come from Scotland. A lot of people swear, but I don't. I'm not a swearer. It just I really am a swearer. So I apologize for that, parents. I apologize if your children listen to that. Any, but like people come home from like Hippocrates and places like that, and they're dedicating a room to sprouts, lights, frigging microgreen gardens in their gardens, sprouting all this stuff. Like crazy, crazy. Same time ordering supplements. At the same time, like, and on a business perspective, you know, people, unfortunately, there's been a history of the raw food movement. Raw food leader, someone comes to them, raw food expert, whatever. Someone comes to them. We won't name any names, Victoris Kulvinskis, Gabriel Cousins. You know, we're not going to name any names. But people come to these kind of guys and they probably told people for years, like, you know, eat raw food, do this and that. They didn't know how to do a raw food diet. They never figured it out. They never bothered to really figure it out. They probably don't do a raw food diet, right? But people would come to them, be fascinated by their stories and the stuff that they would say and their talks and all that. And they say, I need help with raw food diet. What do I do? And they would say, well, you need to buy this supplement and that supplement and that supplement and that supplement and that supplement. And people would go, okay. Now, this is the craziest thing about it. The people would go, yes, master guru. And then they would say, oh, by the way, I sell these supplements. And the people would go, that's convenient and absolutely not financially motivated in any way at all. This is just convenient and good, right? And then they would pile on the supplements, which the people would have to take a lot. And then they would have to come back, every month and get more. And they were way overpriced, like spending hundreds of pounds a month, sometimes thousands of pounds on supplement programs. This is the business of the raw food movement at some points. This is what it was. This is part of the business of the raw food movement, of it. And Doug Graham was a big threat to a lot of these people, as were a lot of the hygienists in general. But Doug Graham would speak against that and say, you don't need to do any of that stuff. And all those guys would not like him because he was destroying their market. Like, he was destroying their whole thing. Now, he didn't destroy it. This is the thing. Like, he was an inconvenience, but really there's still plenty of people that will listen to Doug, then go and listen to someone like Victoris Kulvenskis or Gabriel Cousins or whatever, David Wolf, and will go and buy their supplements. And that's their choice. Because they think, oh, eating fruit and vegetables, that's crazy. But eating a whole bag full of supplements, that makes sense. And also, people like to buy stuff, and people like special magical things. And we all do. And, I'd love that stuff to work more than eating bananas. I wish that I felt better eating stuff like magical superfoods. I wish that worked. I wish you could just go and buy a raw food chocolate, super chocolate, and just eat a bar of super chocolate every day and feel better. I'd love that. It doesn't work. It's bad. It's not going to be good. So anyway, that was part of the business of raw food. This is a beautiful thing, the whole raw food scene, the raw food history, raw food culture. But people don't understand these things and get it. Now, what that's to some, and then other guys would come along and say, not supplements, that's no, superfoods, don't be silly. Herbs. Herbs is the way to go. And people have, at times, got in touch with me. They're interested in going to the UK Fruit Fest or whatever. And they say, I'd like to go, but I'm on a supplement. I'm on a herbal program at the moment. My herbal, I've got this disease and I'm spending £400 a month on herbs. £400 a month on herbs. They've been put on a herbal program. Protocol, by the way, sounds very much like proctologist, which is a doctor that looks up people's bums. And these protocols come right out of people's backsides. There's no protocol. There's no herbal remedy. It's all anyway. And there's some people that are still making plenty of money and having great success selling herbs. And there was a guy in Scotland called Jan de Vries. He had 17 clinics in Scotland, which is a fairly small country. He had 17 clinics around the country selling herbs. All based on selling herbs, herbal remedies. People with my grandfather, part of the reason I know who this guy is, my grandfather would go and see Jan de Vries, and Jan de Vries would say, oh yeah, my grandfather had bad knees, he still has bad knees, and Jan de Vries would give him some herbs. It did absolutely nothing, it changed nothing, it didn't improve anything. He'd go back to Jan de Vries and get more herbs. He'd go back to Jan de Vries would say, Oh yeah, sometimes I see look in someone's eyes and I know they've got a kidney problem. My grandfather loved that story. He would tell us things about Jan de Vries sometimes, and it made no difference, and it made absolutely no difference to his health. But he went and continued to buy herbs from Jan de Vries, and many people will have continued to buy herbs from Jan de Vries, and it would have made no difference to them, but they would have continued to do it. And that is called human nature, and that is frustrating, kind of, because you think that people would only buy stuff they're getting some value from, and that's not true. Because the guy's got 17 clinics and no one's getting any benefit from it. Not a single person is having any benefit from any herb ever. Plus, they're probably not even taking the herbs. And they probably love Jan de Vries and they keep going back and getting more herbs. And Jan de Vries had, like, I think he probably had diabetes or something. He died not that long ago, right? I'm pretty sure he had like type 2 diabetes or one of these plague, how do we call it? Child's play diseases. Child's play. Type 2 diabetes is child's play. Raw vegan diet and lifestyle, you get rid of that in a week. Child's play. Type 2 diabetes. That's nothing. Come on. Give me a real disease to deal with. We'll get you off your type 2. We'll put you on bananas for a week. It'll be gone. You never have type. Never have. And by the way, there's plenty of people I know that know this information and they still got type 2 diabetes. That's human beings, and they'll go and eat some more herbs. They'll go and buy herbs. They know that that's not going to work. They'll still buy herbs. They'll buy supplements. They'll go and do some sound healing. Anything but change their diet. Anything but change their diet. So, yeah, diabetes. Child's play. Child's play. Give me something that's difficult to deal with. Give me something difficult. Anyway, so why did I start talking about Jan de Vries? Because it's part of the raw food business. And because of that, it's such a compelling story. The soil's depleted. The food's depleted. And people are addicted to cooked food and addicted to like salt and all these things. And then they eat raw food. They're like, this raw food doesn't have a lot of flavour in it, actually. And they're like guzzling bottles of Coca-Cola. This fruit isn't sweet anymore. It's not sweet, but at the same time, it's only genetically modified to be sweet anyway, because back in the day, it wasn't sweet. It was disgusting, and we were all happy with our disgusting food. Isn't life terrible? You know, that's my impression of people. So everyone's like eating all this garbage, and then they're like, "Oh, the raw food doesn't have a lot of flavor. Actually, it must be because of the soil's depleted. It can't be that my taste buds are depleted. It can't be anything to do with that." So it's easy to convince people. Well, as you know, all the fruit in the supermarket is terrible, isn't it? And people will just go, "Yeah, it's terrible." No, it's not. It's totally not. It's totally not. Oh, it's all acidic and overripe. No, it's not. I don't understand people say these things. It's all acidic and overripe and it's all picked early. I'm going to go and eat junk food and kill myself. Life doesn't matter. I hate myself. You know, it's not that I don't. It's terrible, right? Is it? I don't know. Maybe it's not terrible. It is what it is, and it is something. So I'm really enjoying making this video, by the way, just for my own. Maybe no one will ever watch this, so and maybe you shouldn't. But the whole thing, this attitude of telling people, yeah, the supplements, and you need to do supplements, and maybe a lot of people don't say supplements, but they say you need to make sure you get your leafy greens. Oh, you need to get your leafy greens. Oh, you gotta get your leafy. If you don't eat your leafy greens, one of the biggest mistakes I made is I didn't eat leafy greens. And not all these people that say eat loads of leafy greens aren't eating any leaf. They aren't eating that much leafy greens, by the way. Most Most of the people that talk about it. I probably eat more greens than them, and I don't even think about it that much. I don't like greens. I only eat them as some. I only eat them as like as a salad sort of thing. Um, Simple salads I eat, but basically I eat tomatoes with lettuce. If I stop eating tomatoes, I probably don't eat lettuce because that's my combo. My combo a bombo. My combo non a bombo. It's an okay combo, but not getting into food combining. That's a whole other minefield. People want to go down. Oh, food combining. That's another thing that, anyway, not going to get into that. Another thing that people spend a lot of it. How do I? Well, what if I have a banana and I have this at the same time? Do I die? Am I okay to do that? Like, you're okay. Like, don't worry about it too much. But if I have melons with citrus, what's going to happen? Is it going to create an explosion in my stomach? No, it's not. It's not, actually. It's not. You're going to be okay. Uh, so, uh, so anyway, where am I getting to with this? Where am I getting to? I'm getting to a point where, life is beautiful every day on a raw vegan diet, but um, we're scaring people. And this is what's stopping this movement from growing. People come in and they go, yeah, it's good diet, but make sure you got to get enough leafy greens or else you'll. And it's, no one says or else you'll die. But that is what you're saying. That's what people are thinking. You need to make sure you get like 2 pounds and 4 pounds of leafy greens a day or you die. And a lot of the people saying that, I've never seen them eat 4 pounds of leafy greens a day. Not once. So who are the people eating 4 pounds of leafy greens a day? I don't know. But you need to make sure you get your leafy greens. And you need to get a real variety of leafy greens. And you need to grow them in your garden. And you need to do this. And I'm like, who's doing that? Who? Who's doing that? So no one's doing it is the answer. If you want to eat a salad, cool. Eat a salad. But you're not missing anything by not eating a salad. I don't believe that. I think you could live on one fruit. Probably for the rest of your life, have no problems. Probably could do that. Now, we're not designed to do that. We're not designed to only eat one thing, but you probably could do that and never experience any of these deficiencies that people worry about and worry other people about. And the truth is, none of these things are a big deal. None of these things are a big deal. But people have been so trained to believe that and to have these smart questions and everything, so trained that they can't help but ask it, worry about it, think about it, and go and seek solutions for a problem they don't have. My God, I'm so smart. I love how smart I am. I'm really on fire in this video. But listen, relax, enjoy your life. Raw food diet, raw vegan diet, fun, great. We just need more community. We just need more people hanging out, getting to know each other. I need to be the forefront of that. I need to stop saying other people need to do it. I need to do that more. And be the lighthouse so that other people can blah blah blah. Everyone wants to be the lighthouse, but no one has any ability to actually. Anyway, I'm not going into that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. Feel free to comment below. If you want more videos like this of a different nature, I'd love to get your feedback. Thank you. Thank you for your support, for watching and all the rest of it. Thank you very much.